everyone. I hope you hear me. Yeah. Okay, so let's begin, I believe. So I will shortly introduce what today we'll be talking about, and then we will proceed to the presentation, and then we'll have a short demo. So today we'll be talking about securing and controlling user network access. Especially during COVID time, we get a lot of requests about protecting users. Users are working from home, become more vulnerable. They can get some strange emails, go to some malicious websites, and when there is no colleagues nearby, our IT team is like far away. It's for them. It's easier to get like infected and click some wrong things, go to wrong websites, or do some wrong things. During this COVID time, we started getting a lot of requests about securing users this internet access. And usually, of course, customers go to start using firewalls or increasing their firewall capabilities. So maybe buying additional devices and etc. But depending on the case, firewall not always maybe is the best solution. It really depends on your use case, on what your users are doing and how they work. But sometimes there is maybe some better alternatives for some customers. Because users and companies start moving more and more to the cloud, and there is a lot of like remote workers who are working from home, especially during, of course, this virus situation. So firewall might be not the best solution. And today I will be focusing a bit on firewall and especially VPN issues. So of course, without firewall, there will be no VPN. So that is why we will talk about both. And maybe I will provide a possible solution for this, like in a way of secure web gateway. So this is why we will be talking a bit about it also. So I will present what it does and how it might solve your issues. Today I will cover what are the main challenges facing, what main challenges VPNs are facing when it's time to maybe retire your remote VPN access or just improve it by using some other solutions in addition. How iboss Cloud can help you out in scaling remote resources and maybe increasing users' web security beyond VPN limitations. And I will show a very short demonstration of how iboss interface looks, what it can do, what their main functionality there is, and yeah, so those are the main stuff we will be talking today about. So at first I will start from what is a secure web gateway, because I know maybe some of you don't know, and I will be talking about it further in the slides. So I thought I will at first present it, and then we can go further. So secure web gateway is an advanced cloud delivered or on-premise security service, network security service, we can call it. It enforces consistent internet security, compliance policies for all users at any locations or using any device. So one of the main those things secure web gateway can do, that it can work on any locations. You don't need VPN to connect to it. It's much more comfortable from user side and from administrator side to use this kind of solutions. These gateway security tools also provide protection against threats to users who are accessing internet via web or use any number of web-based applications. So also it can very well scan because that traffic because it was developed for that. They also allow organization to enforce an acceptable use policy for web access, enforce compliance with regulations, and prevent even data leakage. Because again, even in a lot of web applications, users usually upload files or input some information. So again, very nice thing about those gateways that they have DLP included and they can scan this traffic. As a result, secure web gateways offer a way to keep networks from falling victim to intrusions through internet traffic and malicious websites. They can also prevent data from they can prevent data from such places entering your network and causing a malware infection or intrusion. So they can scan files that are incoming, they can scan network traffic, and again see something that's unusual or maybe malicious and block this from happening. This from form of gateway security is accomplished through malware detection, URL filtering, and other means. Gateway effectively blocks malware from calling home and acts as a barrier against sensitive intellectual property being stolen or sensitive data such as social security numbers, credit cards, and other going to the wrong hands. So it stops from it leaving your maybe users' computers, again, your cloud applications. The web gateway secures people from processing or programs from downloading or accessing external sites, software, or data that could harm them or the organization. Additionally, they stand in the way of unauthorized access from the outside. So Secure Web Gateway is a solution that filters unwanted software or malware from user-initiated web and internet traffic while enforcing corporate regulations. These gateways must be at minimum include, of course, URL filtering, malicious code detection, and web applications control. So I hope it's clear what Secure Gateway is. It's not a very difficult tool to use usually. Yeah, so let's continue. So let's talk a bit more about differences between Secure Web Gateway and Firewall. So of course, we are talking about Firewall because without Firewall, there will be no VPN in this usual business scenario. So, so usually Secure Web Gateways are dedicated cloud servers or plans for web and application security. Yes, so they're as a SaaS, and this takes away a lot of job from, again, administrating, controlling those, and looking after those solutions. They are proxy-based, meaning that they terminate and emulate network traffic. Because of specialization, they can detect and protect against much more sophisticated and targeted attacks that are used using web or network. Secure web gateways mainly identify and protect against advanced internet-based attacks using web traffic inspection and application layering. On the other hand, firewalls have a different function. Firewalls are great at packet level security, but are not sophisticated on application level security. So because firewalls is quite an old tool, they are great, of course, at packet layer on those lower layers of a SIEM model, but on this application layer, they are not that competent. Of course, they are moving to that, but it's not their main focus. Firewalls typically do not terminate or inspect entire objects, and they mainly rely on stream-based AV scanning as a defense of malware against malware. So again, it's not perfect from security side because there is some evasive threats operating on application level, and this can quite easily bypass some firewall defenses. Because secure web gateways are usually cloud-based, they are always available and easy to expand. This is quite nice, again, from firewall. You need to buy if you reach some limits. So again, some of our customers saw that during this COVID time that VPNs are like overbooked, so there is too much users using that. If they do HTTPS decryption, okay, it gets overloaded. So web gateways usually in these days are cloud-based because they protect cloud applications, so it's quite logical to put it there. And they are available everywhere, and expandability is quite easy. So as I said, at the moment, we kind of see that a lot of our customers that we see still do not enable HTTPS decryption on firewalls. One thing is because it requires quite a lot of resources, and their firewalls might not be able to manage it. Other thing is not that easy from technical side. They face some issues that are, again, breaking this security versus productivity paradigm. And then another issue that appears during COVID is that it's hard to enforce users to use VPN. And the ones managing to do it run again into hardware issues because VPN and HTTPS decryption takes quite a lot of resources. So those issues can be solved by secure web gateway. They were created to work on application layer for security. You use cloud resources to decrypt HTTPS traffic so it does not affect at all your firewall. And it inspects for malicious activity and increases security and gives your firewall chance to breathe. So it's easier to expand at first those cloud solutions. It's easier to increase their resources, and this helps with that. The issue is not the efficiency of firewall itself or its capabilities. The issue is that comes back to the focus on following perimeter versus following users. So also firewall kind of defends your perimeter, and those gateways are trying to follow the user. Firewalls were traditionally created to protect the servers within the four walls of your organization. They were designed to protect infrastructure you own, and web gateways have an inverse goal of firewall, which is protecting users as they access the internet, meaning users accessing the things you don't own, which includes in fintech blogs or websites. So firewall tries to protect what is inside, and web gateways try to protect what users accessing when they are moving around or even when they do it from their own company. Of course, since users were in the same office as the infrastructure, using firewalls to protect user internet access might have made sense. But as we know, that the users are no longer stuck in office and access internet from various locations. Again, even before COVID, it was quite often that users work from home, maybe abroad or some cafes. And now it's even more important to go, security should go after the user, but not like only protect your internal network. With virtually all applications moving to the cloud, the need to access internet from any location has become more fundamental and common. Since firewalls are designed to protect your four walls, they do not focus on following users to protect internet access on any device from any locations by following the user. Because of this, backhauling data, you may be backhauling data to the firewall appliances, which is cumbersome, expensive, and unstable. Again, sending all the traffic encrypted with VPNs, decrypting it, scanning for all the malicious traffic, decrypting HTTPS, it takes a lot of resources. And again, it's not that comfortable for the user. They have to turn on VPNs and etc. SVG, so secure, I will maybe sometimes use SVG, so secure web gateway shifts the focus from the following the perimeters to the following users, so that internet protection follows the user whenever they go. Usually they have always the fast and secure connections to the internet and their business apps. So again, we saw that some users use VPN just to access their inside applications, and when they want to go to Facebook, YouTube, or something else, they just turn on VPN and just do it directly. So this also, this secure web gateways eliminates all data eliminates need to send all data to on-prem appliances, reducing, of course, the load on the firewall and other network resources. Web gateway also can complement your firewall, which can still protect infrastructure that you own, but with web security gateways, you can have much more faster security, like much more faster internet connections, network flow from any locations that users are at. As an administrator, you don't have to worry about infrastructure or configuration as a policies for compliance, malware defense, and data loss prevention, because it will be applied on this web gateway part. The lifespan of firewall is also extended when starting using web gateways, because again, you use less resources on firewall part, you use more resources on the web gateway, so your firewall can still be working quite well for a longer time. Sorry, I skipped a slide by accident. No, it's good. Okay, so another way that we see customers going is cloud-hosted firewall. So they put their clouds in their firewalls in the cloud. So it's also can be a solution, but there is some issues also with that. So um, although hosting a virtual firewall appliance in the cloud may appear like a good idea, on the surface there are many reasons you should think about it again. You should discuss with your service provider or who you're doing, is it really a best way to go? The first problem that cloud providers typically charge for bandwidth, no, because they pay for bandwidth, they charge for that. So either they charge either when this data is entering cloud or exiting their cloud. So because of firewalls, the data is entering and exiting cloud. So anyway, you will be charged for that. So of course, there are some even providers who charge for both directions. And since all of this traffic from device are being secured, will need to go into public cloud. Then in this cloud, I mean by public cloud, I mean where your firewall is hosted, and then it needs to be sent. The internet traffic needs to be sent back to the firewall. This bandwidth calculation will increase quite drastically, and it of course can increase the costs. Adding to bandwidth all mobile users, which are using their mobile phones, or they're using their computers at home, which all now have, I know in Baltics, almost everyone has a gigabit connection at home. It will again drastically increase the bandwidth that is going through this firewall. So again, a lot of traffic. Also, the virtual firewalls will eventually reach saturation. So what I mean by that, that they will eventually again run out of resources because firewalls are not created to be hosted in the cloud, and their architecture is not ready for linear expansion. This will lead to virtual load balancing and additional firewall. So you will have to put some additional firewalls to increase your capabilities, which will consume, of course, more cloud resources and include more charges. And since this isn't and because if it, I know it depends, of course, case to case, but usually it's not a SaaS offering. The amount of labor you will need to manage this cloud infrastructure will substantially increase as well. So leading to, again, some bigger costs. With the secure gateways, internet security is delivered as a SaaS, offering meaning that you benefit from security without managing any infrastructure. So you just get what you need and you just turn on security on which resources you want. Best of all, when bandwidth increases from mobile users and cloud applications use the bandwidth cost does not impact your organization as it would using some maybe cloud hosted firewalls. Okay, so let's continue. So let's talk about some VPN challenges. So of course, those challenges that I was talking about firewalls. So this like goes in together because they kind of firewall and VPN is quite closely working closely. So I will just add a bit more. So one of the issues that we saw that it's quite hard to enforce users to use VPN. Usually they use VPN for accessing some internal resources, but they disable it when they're accessing cloud resources, this way making them unprotected. So why users do that? Because usually doing this with the VPN to firewall connection, it slows down your connection. It's not that comfortable for them, and they just go directly. So this is one of the issues. Also, because VPNs are designed to use protocol that is resource intensive on setup of connection, it takes a bit time to connect. And when its connection is connected, so it's quite good and it's not that impacted, but the idea is that this connection will stay alive for duration of the user needs. But when users go home, those this live connection can be interrupted. So for example, a device goes to sleep because they went to have some lunch, automatically VPN can be canceled, your maybe networks changed or they moved around, the VPN gets interrupted and etc. So user has to reconnect each time. Again, they might forget, they might be lazy to do so, so again, they go directly. Furthermore, mobile apps are not built to be VPN aware. When VPN has to reconnect, app responsiveness suffers and user experience suffers with it. We saw from our customers that increase in VPN usage during COVID, again, slow down. I am repeating myself, of course, but again, slow down firewalls. This means user traffic also was slowed down, and because of that, users start using less VPN. Just because it's more comfortable for them, it's faster, so they choose this productivity over security. So when to use secure web gateways, and it's like the most logical path to go to start using those kind of solutions. So main of the things is, as companies and their mobile forces grow, it becomes increasingly difficult to protect mobile users from threats. So the ones that are moving around, the ones that are using smartphones and etc. This is because organizations have a variety of applications, some located in headquarters and some in the cloud. So applications at the headquarters, of course, are accessed through VPNs and they are protected by firewalls. So we don't really, you will not kind of change this part. But when users are accessing cloud applications, they're disconnected from or they're disconnected from VPN, they expose the risk. This is why using secure web gateways to provide secure internet access can be a solutions when users are not accessing some on-prem applications and they're using some cloud ones. The main point of it is to protect cloud applications so that you have, if you have something like Office 365 or any other web application, so as users starts using different cloud application, then it's time to start using secure web gateway because they are developed for protecting those applications. They have tools for that, and they have better analysis of those web applications. Because it has a much more granular control compared to firewall for cloud application, and it can very well see what all users are doing. Another point to start using web gateways is when you have a lot of remote users that are working not from home, not from secure network behind firewall, but they are working from home, or they are traveling, or they're working somewhere else. It is important to scan their traffic for malicious activity that is happening to prevent possible threats. Also, the third maybe point that I would put is that if you see that your firewall cannot manage all this traffic, it's maybe overwhelmed, there is too much resources used, it will also help to offload some of this traffic. So for example, all the web traffic to web gateway, and then your firewall can again breathe a little, and this web protection will be provided by secure web gateway. All the decryptions, all the antivirus scanning and etc. will be done by the secure web gateway, and it will try to protect this part while your firewall does protection of this local infrastructure. Okay, so I will now go to this one of solutions that we have that we kind of suggest if we see that customers are facing these issues and they want to solve those. We suggest iboss. iboss was founded in 2003, so it shows that they have quite a lot of experience in this market already and quite well understand the issues their customers face. It is an USA-based company. iboss Secure Gateway is cloud-based, so again, it helps a lot of. It helps to easily move for users to this using this gateway, and it helps users which are traveling, which are not at office only, but they are going around, so they can easily access it from anywhere, anytime. iboss is also in Gartner's Magic Quadrant. They are at the moment in Visionaries Quadrant and getting close to the Leaders Quadrant. So this is again shows that they are acknowledged solution in the market and they are moving in the correct way. And as I said, it can solve some maybe VPN or firewall issues that you might be facing. So shortly about main features. So it's not all of them, but I will quickly go through. So of course, iboss has HTTPS decryption. So and it's quite easy to manage it because they were built for web traffic inspection. They're quite good at decrypting HTTPS and do it very quickly. So they were built for that. They're easier to implement and they're quite quick. Also, it has different methods for scanning traffic for malicious connections, files, web pages, and different intrusion attacks. To further increase its security, it provides sandboxing to check untrusted and unknown files. The iboss cloud provides CASB control, so for data in motion, as cloud applications go through the iboss cloud, it can combine and interject enterprise security policies as cloud-based resources are accessed. So it has like cloud application security brokering integrated already. You can put different policies depending on where users are located. So if user is inside the network, at home, or somewhere in different countries, so you can put different geo-based policies. iboss supports most of the popular operating systems, of course, such as Windows, macOS, Linux, Android, and Apple. Moreover, it has inbuilt DLP feature for data going to web applications or data going from web applications. It can scan what is inside the files and again take some action and report it or block this file transfer. The iboss cloud is built on the notion of containerization. What this means is that the gateways that scrub data for protection within iboss cloud are containerized so that they process data in isolation from processing data of other customers. So your data will not be involved in other customers' data. This also allows for more security and the ability to horizontally scale. Horizontal scaling is important to allow for infinite growth in processing power for security as data traverse the iboss cloud is divided across the containerization work units with the cloud. So again, this containerization allows for easy expansion and increasing your network. Okay, so we have a bit of time, so I will quickly talk about implementing. So there is like a bunch of ways to implement into iboss cloud. It provides a large array of choices of connecting users to the cloud security. Those options provide a lot of flexibility depending on your infrastructure or your needs, what you want to achieve, of course. But usually the ideal methods that we see for users connecting to iboss cloud are this iboss cloud connector. It's a lightweight software built by iboss that can be automatically and silently installed on endpoints. And why it's one of the main ways to do because it automatically can also input SSL decryption certificates into and manage those into the user computer. So it's one of the best ways to implement. Other quite popular ways are proxy settings configured, and proxy settings you just configure and log them in the web browser, or DNS settings again configured on endpoint and to point it to iboss cloud. But as you can see, you can put some IPsec tunnels to the iboss cloud. Again, it a bit depends on your use case. You can use Cisco tools, and there is I know about 15 different ways to integrate iboss cloud, your infrastructure, your users to iboss cloud, but those are quite the main ones. And now let's go to quick demo. Let me share. this one. Just a second. Share. Simona, can you confirm that they can see my screen? Great. So yeah, so this is a web-based interface. I don't know, I can do this. In here, you can see all the main functionality. I would say it's very user intuitive. So I will go through the main ones very quickly. So the first one in here is location and geo mapping. So here you can select some specific locations and apply one rules to those locations and different rules on other locations. So for example, we live in Europe, so maybe I will select Lithuania and then add all the European countries. Oh, sorry, expand it. Add all the European countries, and I can apply one rules for Europe. And if I know that my users not traveling somewhere else, apply very strict and different rules to other places in the world. So it's quite easy way to do it. You can like click around those countries and set different policies for those countries. You of course can specify some physical locations and again apply some different rules. So maybe it's like your office or some branches and etc. And you again apply or your customers and you apply different rules in those kind of networks that the user are allowed to do different things. The next thing is web security. So I will show a bit of here. So here you can see a bunch of different categories that you can manage. You can, of course, edit those a bit and change something, but the main things that I want to show you that you can take any category and select what you want to do it. So maybe you want to block adult content, or you want to have like stealth mode. So what stealth mode means, it does not block anything, user does not know anything, but you will see in the log some alerts that user were going to those kind of type of websites. You can soft authorize, so you will show some landing page that the user is accessing those kind of sites. You can do SSL decryption for those websites. So if you want to scan what is happening inside and etc. So for that, it's quite again easy. If I want to block, I just click and that's it. If I want to block friendship, yeah. But as you see, there is a lot of categories. Those are quite different ones. You can put, of course, priorities on those, because if you have different rules or one website is in both categories, you can apply some different rules. And of course, everything is managed by groups. So you can just put it in the default group on some specific group that you have. Let's go now to intrusion prevention. So iboss can scan for different intrusion prevention attacks, so different exploits. It can recognize it, and you can select what you want to do. So do you want to monitor? Do you want to disable this monitoring, or you want to block? So again, it shows it has come a lot of different features for finding exploits, and you can, even if some exploit is seen, you can alert administrator that it was active and the user was kind of saved. Then to malware defense, so again, iboss has different like scanning procedures. They have different ways to protecting. So they can streaming scan, some advanced scanning. It can scan email messages, archive, and etc. So again, you can configure that, and again, as you see, just click on off, and that's it. It also has malware sandboxing. So if a file which is unknown, it can be put into that and scanned, and like not scanned, like run on this sandboxing and see what this application does. As I mentioned, it also has some cloud access security broker features. So what you can do, you can put some controls on some web applications and block, for example, maybe users for uploading photos to Facebook, yeah, or creating some events and etc. So you can specify again on each application what we want to block. So it will not like block users accessing Facebook, but it maybe will block chatting and games. Yeah, if you don't want user playing video games during working hours. As I mentioned, also there is a DLP included also in this solution. So you can scan data incoming data and outgoing data. So why would you need to scan incoming data? For example, if user is downloading something from your SharePoint, which he is not allowed to do, maybe this data should be only on SharePoint and should not leave it. It will scan it, and if it found some critical data, it would stop it. There are some predefined like rules, like personal identification numbers, credit card numbers, and etc., which it can find. You can select what kind of engines should globally it scan, but usually you would go just to DLP rules and create different rules. So for example, let's take this one. And in here you can specify on what HTTP methods it should work. Again, what it should scan. Then you can select maybe some network resources for it to scan, user groups, target destination, so where these files are leaving or coming from. And then you can specify content type and content types and search criteria. So you can specify what you're looking for. If this is not in the predefined rules, you can create your own regex and again put some alert thresholds, log thresholds, so some thresholds when some critical data is going outside or inside to the user computers. So it's quite useful feature to find people from to find what people are sending or downloading from your not internal, but like from your SharePoint or something like that, your resources. Now let's go to reports. So it's a demo server. I will not be able to show a lot of charts, but I will show you what I can. So we can quite lively see how much bandwidth is used, the most bandwidth used by users. We can see if there were some suspicious activity, liabilities, maybe blocked domains, visited domains, blocked users, and etc. Web categories that are mostly used. Maybe you can like even here. Let's go to a bit more. Some real-time logs. Well, again, sadly, there is very little I can show you here because there is not a lot of data, but you can see some infections, if there are some callbacks were happening, etc. Again, you would see here what stopped, what was found, and etc. Intrusion prevention, again, if there was something, incidents here, data loss prevention, again, logs, what rules were affected, what kind of users were doing. Then you have user risk dashboard. So again, it's like dispersed in different fields, so like mental health, high risk users, maybe trends to harm, the keyword search, liability, and other productivity loss. So again, if users start using more due to Facebook, you will see that in productivity loss. If they're maybe trying to going to some dangerous websites, again, you will see that in reports, and it will be kind of shown. And as you see, here are different reports, but as I said, this is kind of demo server. I cannot show you very much of those. So yeah, I think I showed you the main thing that I wanted to. Maybe let's go back to the slides. So mainly the questions. Let me find what I want to share. I hope you can see my screen. Sure. Yeah. And yeah, so I don't know, maybe somebody has some questions.